Hello ladies and gentlemen. This presentation was made exclusively for World Congress on Education 2015. The presented study is titled Possibilities of Determining the Effectiveness of Corporate Training, and it was conducted by Miroslav Frankovský, Zuzana Birknerová, Robert Števko, Lucia Zbihlejová and Mária Zahatňanská, teachers and researchers from the University of Prešov in Prešov, Slovakia. The contemporary knowledge society should consist of components based on knowledge, creativity, and information. Every organization which wants to fulfill these requirements should consider prioritizing education, making it a natural but planned and directed part of life of this organization. Effectiveness of education in organizations is conditioned by a wide range of internal and external factors. The presented study focuses on education evaluation, particularly analysis of possibilities of determining the effectiveness of corporate training. It presents the results of verification of a known methodology, which enables specification of several indicators of corporate training evaluation. The principal component analysis with Varimax rotation was used to extract and specify 4 factors: relevance to the profession, benefits for employees, employee expectations, and employee satisfaction. The study also describes the specific practical application of this methodology in the context of identification and specification of the differences in evaluation of corporate training between managers and non-managerial workers. Labor market success as well as the quality and performance at work are conditioned, besides other factors, by an adequate degree of education. Achieving this degree is related also to the feeling of satisfaction with the employment status. In this context, it is crucial to highlight the fact that education is a tool, not a goal. In order for an organization to be successful, it needs to invest in meaningful education of its employees, not only financially, but also time-wise. Corporate training must be a reaction to the social changes because people are becoming more demanding, critical, educated, and fastidious. High organizational performance is contingent on the development of competencies and self-management of employees. Staff performance may be increased not only by their evaluation and remuneration, but also their development. According to Fitzgerald, staff development means acquisition of knowledge and skills which may be used both at present and in the future, preparation of individuals in order for them to enrich the organization in the future, involvement in various educational activities. The key factor in development of any organization is its employees. Their development is inevitable for taking on new challenges, long-term health and viability of the organization. Staff development places the organization in a position where it may face the changes directly. In fact, the developed workforce does not react to the change but rather creates it itself. Education may be one of the options of resolving the problems of the organization which prevent it from implementation of its objectives. If an organization wants to make a progress, it is inevitable to focus on education of its employees. Effective education is characterized by being well prepared and organized, systematic, and continuous with a repetitive cycle. To ensure a smooth and trouble-free fulfillment of the program of education and training, it is, according to Vodak and Kucharčíková, important to: first of all, make sure that all participants have an opportunity to comment on all parts of the program and at its beginning. Second, have the participants express their expectations of the course. Third, sign a so-called contract at the beginning. 4. Have the lecturers during the educational activity provide a sufficient time reserved for final implementation of activities aimed at a thorough revision of what has been covered in the course of this activity and comparison of expectations of the participants at the beginning and at the end of the training. Feedback on the effectiveness of the training is one of the most important parts of the whole educational cycle. By its means, it is possible to assess the degree of effectiveness of any educational program and its manifestations in the work process. Evaluation of educational activities is dominated by satisfaction surveys, as they are measured more easily and more quickly than the impact of educational activities on the results, which are usually multidimensional. Evaluation of educational activities represents a balance between something that is subjective, as the evaluation of satisfaction, and something that is factual or objective but related to the educational activity. The research sample consisted of employees from both the public and the private sectors working in the areas of production, administration, and education. Addressed were 152 respondents, out of which 87 were male and 65 were female, aged from 21 to 62 years. Out of the addressed respondents, 92 work in the private sector, 60 work in the public sector, 62 of them are managers, and 90 are non-managers or efficient workers. There were 51 production employees, 36 administration employees, 21 education employees, and 44 respondents employed in other work areas. The number of years of service was in the range of 1 to 44 years, whereas the average number was 17.36 years of service. Effectiveness of corporate training was detected by an own original methodology labeled as SBES. This questionnaire consists of 22 items on the basis of which the respondents assessed various aspects of corporate training. The individual items were evaluated on a 5-point scale as presented. The principal component analysis with Verimax rotation was used to extract 4 factors, the content of which may be described as follows. Factor 1 is significance for the profession. Respondents scoring high in this factor attach greater importance to education for the profession. They perceive a greater personal significance of education and see higher degree of relation to the work performance. Factor 2 is benefits for the employees. Respondents with higher scores in this factor attach greater importance to education for career development, positive evaluation, improvement of relationships on the workplace, and for motivation increase. Factor 3 is expectations of the employees. Respondents scoring high in this factor provide positive evaluation of the education program, utilized methods and forms of education, and the training course, and have also higher expectations. Factor 4 is satisfaction of the employees. Respondents with higher scores in this factor evaluate education as more comprehensible, acceptable, and adequate time-wise. The extracted factors explain 65.6% of a variance as shown in Table 1. You may see that the individual items of the methodology were formulated to gain information about importance of further education, relations on the workplace, motivation, and details about the current education of employees. Acceptability of the extracted factors is confirmed also by the Cronbach's alpha values as illustrated in Table 2. Table 3 shows the statistically significant correlations between the individual extracted factors confirmed by a correlation analysis. Practical application of this methodology in the context of identification and specification of the differences in evaluation of corporate training between managers and non-managers was also carried out. As the comparison results provided in Table 4 illustrate, significant differences between the managers and the non-managers in all 4 analyzed factors of corporate training were identified, whereas in all cases the managers scored higher than the efficient workers. The presented findings confirm that managers have a more intense perception of the need, significance, and importance of the corporate training, which is closely related to their work, career advancement, higher financial remuneration, and interpersonal relations. Expectations and satisfaction of managers with the corporate training closely correspond with the program and course of the training, utilized methods and forms, and its clarity. They are interested in educational communication trainings as well as e-learning. They are also more flexible and seek education voluntarily. The results and findings of the presented research confirm the fact that evaluation of corporate training is not homogeneous, but it is possible to specify certain structural elements of this evaluation. The extracted and specified 4 factors may be considered to be one of the possible approaches to corporate training evaluation options. Methodologically, the SBES questionnaire represents a concrete tool which may be used to gain feedback information about the corporate training. Its suitability for the corporate training evaluation was also confirmed by the results of the analysis of differences in evaluation of this education type between managers and non-managers. It is crucial to highlight the fact that the principles of formulation of the SBES questionnaire may be utilized when creating any methodology for evaluation of any type of education. The research results also confirm the findings connected to specification of the external and internal factors of motivation to be educated. These findings correspond with those provided by Buckley and Keppel, who specify 2 kinds of educational needs within the work process. First, reaction needs, which are performance related, when the performance in the workplace decreases due to insufficient education. The second, proaction needs, which is taking over initiative, accepting responsibility. These are related to the strategies and the long-term goals of an organization as well as the human resource plan. The issue of effective evaluation of corporate training is important also from the perspective of future motivation to be more educated. In this context, it is possible to assume that employees who are content with their corporate training will continue with their further education in future as well. On the contrary, those with a lower education level or those dissatisfied with the training will tend to avoid education as such and thus lose the opportunity to grow and advance. Contributions brought by an effective corporate training described in this report correspond with those presented by other authors, for example Armstrong. An important significance of effective corporate training of employees lies in an efficient evaluation of human capital and human potential, which are crucial elements of competitiveness of an organization. Finally, it is essential to accentuate that effective education and development of employees enables not only adaptation to changes in organizations, but also development of a workforce which would propose and carry out these changes. Thank you very much for your attention. If you are interested in our work or have any questions concerning our research, please do not hesitate to contact us at the provided email address.